Hi everyone! Welcome to Taskfeed Office Hours, a virtual coffee and learning session where you can get answers, hear the latest updates, and interact with the Taskfeed team. I'm Jessica Graham Morris, and I'm a Customer Success Manager at Taskfeed. I'm here every Wednesday at 5 p.m. London time, 12 p.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time to answer your most pressing questions about Taskfeed. And I may have some tricks up my sleeve as well. You can submit your questions or topic ideas ahead of time if you like at bit.ly/asktaskfeed. That's bit.ly/asktaskfeed. If we can't answer your question today, we'll follow up with you afterwards. And you can also access past session recordings at our YouTube channel. We have some great questions from our customers this week, but before we cover them, let me tell you about our latest news and announcements. Did I tell you we're hiring at Taskfeed? We are. We have 2 very exciting positions available for someone who wishes to join our team. We're looking for a sales development rep and for a product support specialist. So if you or someone you know is interested, you can find more information at taskfeedapp.com/jobs. Well, summer is now over, but winter is coming. Taskfeed Winter 19, that is. Our team is busy working on another great launch for you. And it's going to be big. You can expect some long-awaited features as well as new and exciting ways of making your work even better with Taskfeed. Not going to give too much away for you, but stay tuned for some upcoming announcements very, very soon. To hear the latest news about Taskfeed, get these feature announcements first and connect with other great customers like yourself as well as with us, you can join the Taskfeed Success community, and that's in the Salesforce Trailblazer community. To join, go to taskfeedapp.com/community. That's taskfeedapp.com/community. So now let's answer the first question that we have this week. We have several tasks which are optional based on the specific needs of the client. What's the best way to customize the plans? Should we include all of the tasks, or can we pull in optional tasks as needed? And that's a great question because we have several customers that have the standardized process and a standardized playbook to go along with that. And that playbook has a series of base tasks that should happen no matter what. But they also have tasks that are only applicable in certain situations. So depending on the outcome of a particular task, they'll choose solution A or solution B, or they'll go with, the set of tasks that are in Playbook A or Playbook B. So what's the best way to implement that? Should they just include all of the possible tasks on the plan, or should they and then delete the ones that they don't need, or is there a better way to do that? So I'm over here sharing my screen with you now, and I'm gonna show you that actually the best solution for this is you can create a subset of tasks in smaller templates, and then you can use our template import wizard, which is a tool right on the Taskfeed tab to import only the tasks you need on top of an existing board. So you can create a base template that has, the tasks that you're going to use every time for that board type, and then on top of it you can add more tasks as needed. So you can also use the template import wizard to import just a subset of subtasks onto an existing task on the board. So I'm going to show you now. I'm going to create a new board in Taskfeed. I'm going to give this board a name. I'm going to select the board type, which is going to be implementation. I'm also going to select an account, all of the things that I would normally do when I create a new board. And when I create the implementation board, I have my default implementation template where I have a series of tasks that, no matter what happens, I have to go through them. But Okay, so let's assume over here that throughout this implementation phase over here, my customer has decided that we're going to custom design this, and it's going to take a little bit longer, but I already have a template anticipated for this type of outcome, because every time that one of our clients wants to customize the design process, it needs, you know, a few more days, and it needs a few more steps, and we also need an implementation manager to do that. So I have my template already there, and I don't need to use it every time, but if I do, I want to be able to pull that. So I'm going to create, so I have this task over here, and I could just put it on the board, or I could create it as subtasks. In this case, I'm going to create it as subtasks because it's part of my implementation. So, okay, let's rewind here just to make sure we're following. So this is my board. I'm going to click on my task, and I want to import some tasks. I'm going to import this template as subtasks only. You could import them as tasks. It's up to you. And I have my custom design tasks specifically for that reason. So I'm going to click plus, and these are the templates, and you can choose more than one if you like, but I just need this one. In the next step, I can choose which tasks I want to import. So you can import them all, or you can, you know, deselect any tasks that you don't need. And because this is a test org, they're just called design 1, 2, 3, and 4, but they could be called whatever they need to be. And this template has dependencies. It has, you know, a role, it has categories, it has everything that I need, except I'm importing into this board only if I have to. And I just want these 3. So I'm going to click import. And it's done. There you go. And because I set it on my template to go on the waiting list, so let me show you, this is my template, it goes to the waiting list, that's where it was imported. And let's add an implementation manager. So there you go. And as you can see, there's subtasks of this bigger task over here. So if I focused and I want to drill into this task, there you go. I just clicked on it, and that's the implementation. And now I only see its subtasks. So I can focus my energy on them. If I want to see them in the context of all of the board, there it is. I just have to click on the board name. So let's rewind. If I want to just see that particular set of subtasks in the context of its parent task, I go to the parent task and I click over here where it's showing my subtasks. There you go. If I want to see everything else, I click on the board name. All right. And let me go ahead and schedule that, because it's a task that I may or may not need. So I didn't set a default date for it, but I'm going to go ahead and schedule it for next week. Oops. And the other ones, because they have dependencies, they'll also be scheduled accordingly. And when I say scheduled, I mean that in, you know, Taskfeed terms, it's not going to actually schedule things for you. I wish it was that easy. What it's going to do is it's going to set these dates for you so you can see where it falls on your plan, on your timeline, all right? So you can give your customer maybe an answer about how long this project is going to take. It helps you when you set a baseline, for instance. So let's set a baseline. So later on, if things are delayed, you can compare the difference between one and the other, all right? So if I go over here on my plan view, let's say that one of those tasks got a little bit dragged out, you know? So, and I'm just playing with my test data here because, you know, these things haven't actually happened, but let's say I have to delay this by a week. And because I set the baseline, I'm gonna be able to compare the difference, all right? So there you go, this is my red line. It shows exactly, you know, how much it's been delayed, because this was, you know, the expectation versus what's really happening, the reality. And when it's delayed, it turns red. This is your full timeline. All right. When you go on the board view, it shows you exactly the tasks which are on time in green, and the ones in red are the ones that are delayed. So there you go. It's saying it's scheduled to finish a little bit late, a little bit on time. All right. So there you go. So having said that, let's go to our second question. This is another great question from one of our customers, and it's a question we get almost every week, which I love. It shows how flexible and customizable Taskfeed can be, just like Salesforce. If you want to share resources, links, and more information about the plan with your customers, for instance, this is a great customization to use alongside external sharing, which is already a game-changing feature on its own. But I'm going to show you a nice little trick that you can use that will enhance your external sharing experience with your customers. And it's also relatively simple for your Salesforce administrator to configure. So the question is, we would love to include help resources linked out to our website. So the question is, we would love to include help resources that are linked to our website, and they're relative to specific tasks on the board. Is there a way to do that in Taskfeed? And can I include that in the template source file as a column with links included? So you don't have to create them one by one every time you create a new board. So let's go for the first part of the question before I go to the second one, which is, can I include that in the template? Spoiler alert, you can. So I will show you. So let's say, for instance, over here, because Taskfeed, out of the box, the fields that you will see when you edit a task or when you create a task, you will see things like name, the name of the board, the name of the list, owner, account, opportunity, and you see this little detail over here. And that's a little long text area field where you can put more information about this task, you know? And it's just a simple area. It's the one that comes out of the box because reporting on a long text area is simple. And what you would need for a rich text area, which is the one where you can put links on it, is not as easy to report, which is why we don't include it, but it's so easy for you to create that. So this is a job for your Salesforce administrator because you will need permission to set up. But once you have, show them this video or show them the instructions on our help page, which I will share with you, they can do that very easy with clicks, no code, and only a few minutes. So let's say, for instance, I want to use a link to, our help page, and I want customers to, see where they can register for office hours every week. So I'm going to get the link. There it is. And, let's say I don't have that rich text area field and I copy here. Sure, you can do that. But, people cannot click on that. That's a little bit of a pain. In comes your custom field in Taskfeed task for rich text area. So let's learn how to do that, and I will compare to an org where I already have that, which I believe it's here. So let's say I click on, I think it's this one, this task, where I do have a custom rich text area, and I have these notes, I called it notes, and I put a little link, join our office hours, and you can click on that. And moreover, when I share this link with my customer, they can see that too. So this is the external view that only people outside of Salesforce are seeing because you shared the link with them. And they click over here they can see that too. They can click on it on your resource, all right? So now let's see how I did that. So assuming you have permission to customize application in Salesforce, we're gonna go to Setup. And Object Manager. And if you're in Salesforce Classic, your Salesforce administrator can go to Setup, Create Objects, and find Taskfeed task, just like I'm finding here. And we're going to go to Fields and Relationships, which in Classic is also called that, but it's in the page layout. You're going to create a new one. And I'm going to call it Notes, but you can call it whatever you like. Some people call them links. Some people call them resources. It's up to you. And it's a text area rich. Do you see that? Great. So let's select that. Next, gonna call it Notes. There you go. And you can adjust the visible lines. I would recommend not putting that many because you'll also want to see it on that little side pane over here. And if you put too many lines, it's going to be a hot mess. You don't want that. So you can put a description. And you select, the profiles that, typically are the people that would already see it anyway in Salesforce. Don't worry about the external sharing right now because we'll go over that later. Put it on the Taskfeed task layout. Beautiful. And now we want to see it not only on the Taskfeed task record layout, which is not here. We want to see it in this little window here. And when I edit my task, I also want to see that. Why is that field not there? Well, I'll tell you why. This window over here and this window over here, they're called field sets in the Manage package in Salesforce, okay? So one is a pop-up window that is called an Edit Modal field, and the other one is called Record Detail Pane, all right? Salesforce has not provided configuration for that in Setup in Lightning Experience yet. So if you're in Lightning, we're gonna switch to Classic momentarily just so we can add that to those areas and then we can switch back and have fun in Lightning. All right, so don't worry, it's just to configure until Salesforce figures that out. So let's go to my object here, create object, Taskfeed task. And we're gonna go to the area called field sets. All right, so scroll down on your page and here it is. So if you still remember, it was edit modal field and record detail pane. So let's click and see. So now we created that notes field, yeah? So let's drag and drop. So when we edit or create a new task, we can add some lovely little notes for it. So I'm just gonna put it maybe under detail and save. And if you don't want detail, that's fine. You can even remove, but you cannot delete that field. All right, so there you go. Same thing in the record detail pane. That's that little side area. So let's go over here in Taskfeed so I can show you later where that is. So notes and under detail as well. That's where I want to see it and save. Beautiful. All right. Let's leave this here for now. And now I'm gonna, if I have a note, I'm gonna be able to see it. So let's add a little hyperlink to this one. Can you see it now? Here it is. So I am going to hyperlink this, and this is assuming that you're going to create this, manually as needed. Let's do that. And while I'm at it, I am going to show you where you can find the instructions for it, which is here. And I'm going to grab this link. All right, beautiful. Now we save. And there it is. It also pops up on the record detail pane, as you can see. Now, let's share this board with a customer. And spoiler alert, they're not going to be able to see it yet because you need to make that field available. So, sorry, it was, yeah, oh, I did that. Okay, so I'm gonna click here, I'm gonna share this board with my customer. All right. And I'm gonna tell them, hey, if you click on that, team workshop session, you're gonna see a link that I put there for you. And they're gonna be like, no, I don't. And why is that? Well, Jessica, because your Salesforce administrator has not made that field visible for people outside of Salesforce yet. So let's go make that happen because we want those people to see that link. So we're going to configure this by going to Salesforce Setup, and we're going to modify a permission set that comes with Taskfeed out of the box. And this permission set is the one that is designed to be given for the external sharing user. This user is anyone who will be seeing the board when you share the plan with them outside of Salesforce through that link that you just saw a few minutes ago. And by doing that, we're going to clone an existing permission set, which is the one typically given for the external sharing user. And this cloned permission set will have the new field that we just created, because when you first install Taskfeed, the field is not there, therefore it's not in the permission set. So you need to modify it to make sure that it has the permission to see that. You will notice that you can't edit a standard permission set or one that comes with a managed package, but you can clone an existing permission set. So if you need to do that, go ahead and clone. I already have one. Once you have cloned, you can edit the permission set. So click on the permission set you wish to edit and then select Object Settings. Once you're in Object Settings, you're going to find Taskfeed Tasks, select, and then we are going to edit to select Notes. So find the Notes field and just click Select on the Read part, and then click Save. And you can't manage the assignments here, meaning you can't give it to the external user here. So we're going to have to go back to Sites and find the external user profile that is created by Sites over there, and we're going to give this permission in that area. So I went back to Sites, I selected the Taskfeed external user profile, sharing services, select Public Access Settings. Once you're in the Taskfeed Public Sharing Services profile, click View Users to select the user that we assign this permission to. When external sharing was first configured in your org, a permission set for the external user was given to them. So now we're just going to click there and make sure they have the correct one, which is the one that you just created. So just select Add Assignments, and we're going to assign the one that you just created. You put that on the Enable Permission Sets, you click Save, and they should have the permission that you created for them, which is that custom external user. So now when you share the plan with your customers, they will be able to see the board with the custom field for notes that you just created. So that's the external sharing view. As you can see, they can see the notes field with a clickable link. So now let's go to the second part of our question, which is, can I include those resources in the template source file as a column with links attached to it? The answer is yes, absolutely you can. I'm going to show you how to do that. So if you go back to your template source file where you created your task template that you'll be using on the board, all you have to do is add a column, and I'm just going to add a column here. And for anything that I want a note, which I may not need for everybody, I'm going to add the hyperlink. But is the hyperlink just a copy and paste of the link? No, not really. You need to use HTML code to format the link. So when you create the tasks from a template, those are hyperlinked for you. So we need to tell the computer how to do that. So what I do, because I don't memorize HTML code for fun, I use a cheat sheet. So I can show you a really good one, which is this simple HTML guide. And I'm just going to copy the tag that I need, which in this case is this. It creates a link to another page or a website. Great. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste onto my spreadsheet for anything that I need, such as this one. And now I'm going to grab my link, for instance, this one, and I'm going to paste it in this area where it says URL. Lovely. Okay. And I'm going to give it a description. All right. Can you format other things? Like, what if I want to add, some bold letters or italics or underline, or I don't know, whatever is supported. So not everything is supported in a rich text area in Salesforce, but in our help documents, there's a link that tells you everything that is supported. So you can underline, you can put bold, italics, you can even put a little image if you like. If you want to do all of that, just grab this and have some fun with it, okay? So you can put, a little bit of a structure. You can put some bold text, italics, underline, strike out, just have your fun. But I'm gonna add links. So I'm gonna put a couple. So let's just say they're all different, but just for argument's sake, I'm gonna put on these. And now I'm going to save my template. And obviously, when you are editing an existing template, those changes that you make are only going to be applicable to, future boards that you create. Existing ones are not going to magically know that you just modified the template. So just keep that in mind. So that's my standard implementation that I'm going to edit, and I'm going to add some cute little links to it. Great. So now I have all of that. All right. It's active. Let's create a new implementation board and see what that looks like. And there you go. I have my links made ahead of time. All right. Oh, there it is. All right. Great. So this is how you can create a custom field in Taskfeed Task and add hyperlinks to it, both on the field and from your template. And you will see those hyperlinks on the board, and you can share the board with your customers and they will be able to see that as well if you make that field visible in external sharing. Since we have a little bit of time, I can show you another little custom field that we can create. That is a common question that we get from our customers. So going back to the basics, one of the things that you can do in Taskfeed is to log time against tasks. So let's say, I have spent 3 hours on this task. All right, you can put a little bit of a description. And some of our customers, they log billable hours. They really want to be able to report on hours that are billable. That's something that is important to them. So is there a way to do that in Taskfeed? Well, there is. When you log time against a task, you're not really logging time on the Taskfeed task object. You're logging time on an object in Taskfeed called time. And we can create a little custom field over here, which is a little checkbox that every time you log some time, you can just click and say it's billable. So later on, you can report on what's billable and what is not. So the way to do that is super simple. Another job for your Salesforce administrator. They're going to go to setup and they're going to find that object called time. So let's go to time. And this is one of the easiest things you can make, which is to create a little custom field of the checkbox type. Okay, so let's just go over here. And I want to call it billable. And the default is unchecked. All right. Let's put something a little bit clearer for our users, yeah? Make their lives a little bit easier. Same thing again here. Boop. All right. Let's switch to Classic because again, field sets, not supported in Lightning. I just like working in Lightning as much as I can. And let's find that object, time. Edit. Billable. I'm going to do the time edit fields too. Oh. All right, there you go. So, back to my Lightning. Taskfeed. So now next time I log time, I can mark whether that was billable or not. So later on, I can report on it. I'm gonna log time. And I'm gonna put another hour. I'm gonna check it's billable. If I have estimated hours on my template, which I can show you next, that's going to be calculated automatically. If I didn't have anything, I can just put something. All right, so there you go. Now I have 4 hours spent. One of them was billable, all right, which you can see over here, and we can also report on that. We can cover a little bit more reports, so we can show you some different reports that you can create in Taskfeed. If you send me your questions ahead of time that you may have about reports, we can cover it during office hours. If you can't attend, it's not a problem. Just register and we'll send the recording to you afterwards. So that is all the content we have for today. Don't forget to join our community And also, we are hiring. So if you or anyone you know is interested in the positions that we have available, just go to taskfeedapp.com/jobs, and you will find more information about that. All right. So thank you everyone who joined us today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, have a great rest of the week.